The market pushes higher Friday, getting us closer to our Wave 1 top. We should expect a pullback early this week. This is Invest with Jacob. So the market pushed higher on Friday, giving us a top or near top of our Wave 1 in almost perfect Fibonacci fashion. We're actually going to dig into how we calculate that, as well as how we calculate our next targets in just 1 minute. But first, if you're new here, welcome to the show, guys. My name is Jacob Gabbard, and this is Invest with Jacob. And I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below so that you can be a part of our daily S&P updates, our trade setups, and our buy alerts. Okay, guys, so the market pushed higher, giving us a really clean 5 waves up. And I'm going to show you how that calculates in Fibonacci levels, as well as show you how we calculate our next targets up and down. Now, of course, that's easiest seen on the charts. So we're going to jump in and take a look. Okay, guys, here we are on the 1 hour ES chart. Now, this is the futures, and the futures show the cleanest wave because it gives all of the after hours trading data that we don't get on the SPX chart. So we're looking at the futures right now, so keep that in mind when I give you these levels. Okay, so we are down here at the bottom of wave 2, and if you remember in our last video called the wait, we talked about the 1-2-1-2 setup. So this is 1-2, and now we're on 1 up here, getting ready for our next 2 to come back to get that setup in place. Okay, so this is our 5-wave structure up. You can see the black line, so you had wave 1 up, 2, 3, 4, and 5 up here at the top. Now we want to put in Fibonacci levels to see how this matched up with what we would expect. So what we do is we get our trend-based Fib extension tool. We use this quite often. All right, we go down to the bottom of wave 1, and we draw up to the top of wave 1 here, and then down to the bottom of wave 2 and drag it across so we can match it up with all of our lines. Okay, now starting with wave 3 here, this big long line, remember these all break down into 5-wave structures, and a typical target for wave 3 of 3 is the 0.1272 extension right here, and you can see it came up and just missed that. Okay, it was real close, got almost to the fib, and then started to pull back. Typical support for a wave 4 of 3 is the 0.764 extension, which it came back and touched almost perfectly. And then for a standard wave 3, we target the 1.618 extension for wave 5, and it hit it almost perfectly. I think it was a quarter above it maybe. But you can see it hit that perfectly to top out in wave 3. Now, wave 4 was a little bit shallow. Down here to the 272, we would expect this to be a little deeper. And then wave 5s are calculated in a few different ways. So the first way you can calculate a wave 5 is generally the rule of equality, where wave 1, okay, down here, is equal to the gain of wave 5. Now wave 1 was 51 points of gain roughly. I think it was 50.75. But 51 points of gain for wave 1. Wave 5 is at 48 points right now. So that's one way to gauge it. They're almost equal, which means we're pretty close to a top. Another way to gauge a wave 5 is it generally targets the 2.0 extension of waves 1 and 2. So you can see here it's actually underneath here. Let me drag this across a little further so you can see it. You can see that the 2.0 extension was right here at 42.6650, and it actually pushed up above that. And the reason for that is we had a very shallow wave 4. Typically this wave 4 would pull back a little further, which would pull this down, and that would be around the 2.0 extension, but it pushed a little higher because of the shallow wave 4. So when I say almost perfect, this is the not quite perfect part of the wave that was built. So that's another way to calculate a wave 5. Another way to calculate the top here is if we zoom out a little bit, okay, we're going to take this chart off the screen, this retracement tool off the screen so it's a little cleaner to see. Another way to calculate this is if you zoom out down here to where wave 1 started and you draw in a trend-based Fib extension tool, wave 1 of 3 should target about the 0.618 extension of 1 and 2. So we come over here to our trend-based Fib extension tool from the bottom of big wave 1, okay? We click the bottom here, we track it up to the top, and this should target the 0.618 extension of waves 1 and 2 on the larger scale. We pull that across, and you can see it's right at the 0.618 extension there. So there are several reasons to believe we are at the top of wave 1. Again, wave 5 is almost equal to wave 1 at 48 points and 51 points. Wave 5 has just pushed through the 2.0 extension because of that shallow wave 4, and it's targeted the 0.618 extension of waves 1 and 2, which is another common target for wave 1 of 3. So that's how we know that wave one is about topped out and has hit perfect Fibonacci levels. It's looking really strong and really good. This is a great setup for us. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to figure out where wave two is going to be. Okay, so here we are on the 1 hour SPX chart. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you a little trick to figure out the ideal wave 2 pullback buying zone so we know when to enter the market for our trade. Okay, so we're going to use some logic here. The first thing we know is that wave 3s at the top, okay, typically target the 1.618 extension of waves 1 and 2. All right, to get that, we take our trend-based Fibonacci tool over here. So we come down to the bottom of wave 1 here. We come to the top of wave 1 and down to the bottom of 2. And that gives us our 1.618 here at about 4504, 4505. These numbers are a little bit rough, but it's about 4,500 in that range, okay? So we know that this is our target for wave 3. So what we're going to do now, okay, is the second part of this is we know from earlier in the video that a 5-wave structure usually targets the 2.0 extension of waves 1 and 2, right? So if we know that the top of wave 3 targets 1.618 and a 5-wave structure targets the 2.0, we need to line those two fibs up, and then we get our pullback zone, okay? Now, I know it sounds weird as I say it, but maybe as I show you, you'll understand a little better. So we're going to measure this wave 1 that we've been counting here off the low, so right here, this wave 1, and then we're going to pull back, and we're just going to find the level. There is no wave 2 yet, right? There's nothing here. But we're going to find the level that matches up to this 1.618, and then we're going to see how it matches up with our pullbacks, okay? So we're going to go over to our trend-based Fib extension tool again. We're going to go down to the bottom of wave 1, to the top, and then we're going to pull back, and like I said, there's no wave 2 down here, so we're going to pull back until I'm pointing at it, but at the top of the screen, okay, at the top of the chart, you'll see a green 2 that's at 45, 35, 48 right now. So I'm just going to pull back until that lines up perfectly. There you go. With our other fib. So you've got the 1618 from this big wave 1 and 2, right? That's the 1618 at 4504. And now we've got from the littler 1 and 2, the 2.0 extension that would complete a 5-wave pattern up here to 4504. So they are now matched in confluence. And our pullback was to 4242.01. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to see is 4242.01 a key fib pullback level. All right, so the third part of this is that we're going to do a fib retracement on wave 1. All right, so we come over here and we select our fib retracement tool. And we measure wave 1. Okay. We can see that right there, the ideal pullback for a wave 2 starts at the 38.2 zone, which is 4237, and we have 4242 in here. So pretty good confluence on where we're expecting this to hit our targets and make this wave 3 complete. We're looking for this wave 3 to hit about 4,500, and to do that, it should only pull back to around 4242. It might poke down a little further to 4237, which is our 38.2 fib. Okay, I know that sounds like a lot, and I know it's probably confusing to some of you, so we're just going to recap it real quick. The first thing we know is that a wave 3 generally targets the 1.618 extension of waves 1 and 2. So waves 1 and 2 are here up and here down. Okay, and that gave us the 1618 target of 4504.68. Okay, we also know that a typical 5-wave structure targets the 2.0 extension of waves 1 and 2 in that structure. So we measured wave 1 up, then we pulled back to where these two fibs lined up, the 2.0 extension that it usually targets and the 1618 extension. Okay, and that gave us our pullback here to 4242.01. And just below that, if we do our Fib Retracement tool, is our 38.2 Fib Retracement, which is perfect for a wave 2 pullback. So our buying zone is going to be right around 4240 with a target of 4,500 for that wave. All right, I know that was a lot, but we're learning here, and I'm going to have a detailed video on all of this stuff where we go over it again. but that is what we're targeting. 4,500 for wave 3 based on the size of wave 1, where the pullback of wave 2 would be, and the sizes of wave 1 and 2 to lead into that to give us, again, our 1, 2, 1, 2 setup. All right, guys. So we are looking to buy at 42.40, right in that zone. As soon as we see some bottoming action, we're going to get in because that targets our wave 3 top at 4,500. Okay, guys, if you want to know exactly when we make this buy, you need to get in my Facebook group. There's a link down below in the description. And from there, you get my Slack channel. It's a free chat channel where I give you real-time market updates. I give you our buy alerts, our sell alerts. I tell you exactly what we are trading, when we are buying it, when we are selling it, all of that stuff. It's all free to do. The only requirement, guys, you've got to subscribe to the channel. So hit that subscribe button, get in my Facebook group, come trade with us. It's a great group of guys in there. We'd love to have you in there and make some money with us. All right, guys, get in that Facebook group and join our tribe. Okay, guys, so here we go. Key takeaways for today. We're looking for the top of wave 1 if it isn't already in place. It does have a little bit of room to run up to about 4,300, but that's about it. And then we should start to see our pullback early this week, if not today, tomorrow. And then once we hit that 42.40 zone, we're all in looking to trade wave 3 of 3. All right, guys, that is the update for today. I will talk to you tomorrow.